Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to cover a question I get from a lot of my clients, and that is, how long is it going to take to buy a house? So the first step of the process, you're going to want to engage a broker. Pick someone that you trust. Each broker has different knowledge, different neighborhoods, different skill sets. So it's important you find someone you really trust that you think will provide you with the best service. Once you engage the broker, we can sit down, talk through some of your wants, some of your needs, and then we can then get you pre-approved. So the second step is actually talking to a lender, in which someone who can pre-approve you. So this could take anywhere from a day or two to find a lender to a week. Once you engage a lender, they're going to ask for all your income statements, they're going to ask for all your bank statements, and what they're going to provide is a pre-approval letter which says you can borrow up to X amount. Now, you may not be comfortable spending that amount, but at least you'll know what you're qualified for, and you're going to need that letter in order to get out and shop for properties. So the third step in the process is the fun one. We get out and shop for properties. So what I tell my clients is we're going to spend a lot of time on the front end to find great properties, and we're going to use all of the online materials, including the photos, videos, 3D walkthroughs, as kind of a first show. So anything that is a maybe, we mark as a no. We're only looking for that cream of the crop. Once we have somewhere between 6 and 10 properties, we're going to pick a day and we're going to go see all of them at once. And what this does is allows us to really compare the properties back to back. And inevitably, one or two of those properties are going to seem like a cut above the rest of them. And the reason we do this is if we go see 3 on one week, 3 on the next week, 3 on the following week, inevitably we find out that one of the properties we saw in the first week is the one we love. And unfortunately, that's sometimes under contract. And that's really the worst case scenario for buyers, because it's hard to get over that property. It's hard to find one that is up to that standard. So if we see all of them from the low end to the high end of your budget, you'll have a really good grasp about what's out in the market, and you may find the property that you really love. Once we have the 90 to 95% property, we're going to draft up our contract, which is the standard Chicago Association of Realtors contract. Once we send this to the sellers, the negotiation can take anywhere from a couple hours to 3 or 4 days, depending on the responsiveness of the seller as well as yourself. Once we come to the terms of the contract, as far as price, closing date, and earnest money, then we go ahead and get the property inspected. We have technically 5 days to get the property inspected, but normally we can get in there within 2 or 3 days and have the property inspected. Now, most inspectors will turn around a report within 48 hours, and from there, once we know what's in the report, we then start the attorney review process. So we take the deficiencies that we find at the inspection, which they're always going to find something, and then we start negotiating credits for the issues with the property. Now, the attorney review process, once again, kind of depends on responsiveness of the 2 attorneys as well as the seller. That can take a day, it can take 3 or 4 days. So as you can see, there's a bit of variable in this process, but normally you can get, from start to finish, get this done in 45 to 70 days, just depending. Once attorney review is wrapped up, we are waiting for the lender to give us the clear to close. Now, depending on your close date and depending on a number of other variables, we could get that within 14 days, we could get that within 28 days, it really just depends. But once we get that clear to close, we have the green light, everything's good to go, and we're ready to close on the property. If this comes a little bit early, great news, you could actually close on the property before your closing date. It just depends on the lender and if the seller can make that happen. So that's pretty much it. That's kind of start to finish on the how long it takes to actually buy a property. I've included a link below with my roadmap of a transaction, so you can get a better feel for each stage in the process, as well as some of the partners that I work with to make this happen. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.